You know, the story of Katerina and Carl reminds me so much of what we went through.
Yeah. Similar circumstances, but vastly different outcomes. It's fascinating how just a few variables can change everything.
Indeed. Are our lives nothing but a sum of interconnected parts? Does any meaning attributed to them simply stem from our limited human cognition?
Most likely. The observer bias seems insurmountable. Even the concept of meaning itself is relative.
It's scary to think about, that it could all be an illusion. Every relationship we had, everything we ever cared about.
It really is. This can't be healthy. There's that feeling again. Whoa.
Morning, Agent. Dr. Patterson asked me to tell you to meet him in the morgue. He's done with the remains from the recycling center.
All right, thanks. I'll go have a look before I pay EPOS a visit.
Well, Leonard, it's been quite gross working with you. Hello again. I've got a present for you, Agent.
Is that so?
Yep, right here on this tray. If you're a fan of minced meat, I've got a bucket full of Leonard out back, too.
I think I'll pass on that one.
Good choice. The seasoning is subpar, to say the least.
You take your jokes way too far, Doctor. Now, what have you found?
Well, obviously, the poor man was shredded. Fortunately for him, it happened when he was already dead.
Yeah, I came to the same conclusion. Can you tell me anything about the cause of death?
Not much with the remains in this state. No signs of toxic substances, but that obviously still leaves a lot of options open.
Noted. So what's this in front of me?
Oh, yes. I noticed a pattern on Leonard's skin, likely a tattoo. These are all the pieces I could find. Not sure how they fit together, but I kept them in case you wanted to have a look.
All right, I'll check them out. Huh. Looks like Leonard had this symbol tattooed on him. I'll copy it to my notebook. So this is how Leonard's tattoo turned out.
Interesting. What does it mean?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Looks like one of those runes Maya liked to litter the town with.
Oh, wait, that's her doing?
Yes. As I understand it, she was a major voice on the building committee.
Huh. I've been wondering where all those symbols came from.
Yeah. Me, personally, I like the aesthetic. I think it gives the town a distinct look.
Definitely. The tattoo doesn't look runic to me, though, but I'll keep your theory in mind. Change of venue?
Yes, this is where the recital will take place later. Great acoustics.
Ah. Can I have a little foretaste?
Very well. The same wind, my dear. The same wind. Shook the walls of Jericho. Dried your tears. No Lee to be found. No trust, nor joy. This fire you were set to guard, and I to rest by its side. Your books and notes in disarray. It all seeks to delay us, while you face increasing chaos.
That was great. I love the ending.
You're too kind.
Hi there.
Greetings, and welcome to the Free Church of Epos. If you wish, you can enter our public prayer room to the right for some silent contemplation.
All right, thanks. What about the rest of the church?
The other areas are off limits to non-members.
I have official police business, though. Special Agent England.
I'm sorry, but I can't let you pass. You're gonna need papers. This is a diplomatic sanctuary.
There's no time for that. I'm trying to solve a triple homicide.
I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am, but I can assure you that there are no murderers here. I'd suggest you take this up with your superior.
There's no time to mess around with paperwork. I'll need to take things into my own hands. Looks like some kind of public prayer room or chapel. There are a few people in there. I need to get out of sight first. Looks like a timeline of how the EPO seal has changed over the years. No way. It's the tattoo design. That must mean Leonard is a member of EPOs. Or, well, he was, at some point at least. I'll get rid of the sketch, now that I've identified the symbol. Got a written piece of paper. Grandmaster Otto, if you are reading this, it means that I have failed. I'm sorry, but I didn't want to involve the church unless absolutely necessary. My brother has some things for you. They will be self-explanatory. I told him to only give them up to the person who repeats the famous quote from my favorite book. I'm sure you remember. Blessings from Leonard, your most humble and loyal servant. Seems like Leonard was up to something shady. I'll have to find his brother and figure out what the quote is. All right, let's see if this works.
What the heck?
That should keep him busy for a while. Sturdy-looking filing cabinet. Sturdy-looking filing cabinet. Sturdy-looking filing cabinet. I don't think extra strength helps there. A ventilation panel. Can't reach it from here.
The hell is that noise?
Shit.
We've got an intruder!
A ventilation panel. Can't reach it from here. Ugh, it's stuck. All right, it's loose now. A ventilation panel. Can't reach it from here.
Six new members over the last month. The Bacarbo parish is also doing better now.
They managed to resolve their financial difficulties?
Oh yes, Elsa is doing great work there. Sending her on our behalf was the right call. That brings us to the subject of these horrid murders.
Vile acts, for certain. I pray that the church will stay clear of any blame.
Why shouldn't it? We had nothing to do with those atrocities.
I know that, old friend. But surely our enemies will not ignore an opportunity like this.
I suppose so. Our violent past coming back to haunt us.
Sadly, the fact that one of our people was victimized will inevitably draw eyes upon the church.
Yes, maybe it's in our best interest to invite the police as a gesture of good faith.
It would certainly show them that we have nothing to hide.
Very well. Let's bring the subject to a vote at the council tonight.
At the very least, it seems like the church leadership didn't sanction the murders. I'll wait a bit and see if they leave. Administrative paperwork. I don't think it's safe to go back that way. Wow, that's a lot of books. They have an impressive library here.
Welcome, visitor.
Oh,
Special Agent, Violent Crimes Central Bureau.
oh, it's you again. The man from the train.
Indeed. I never forget a face, but I'm afraid I didn't catch your name.
It's Agent England.
Ah, I am Vilgood. I assume you are aware of our legal status.
Yes, I've been informed. But tell me this. If you had nothing to hide, why would you invoke said legal status?
A church needn't have things to hide to be protective of its privacy. But to prove you wrong, I'll answer any questions you might have.
All right. I'll take you up on that. What do you know about the murder in the workshop hall?
Not much at all. Only that a carpenter was brutally killed there in the night.
What do you know about the murder in the museum?
Only what my fellow church members have told me. That Maya Strand was stabbed to death by a mysterious killer.
What's your take on the conduit?
Oh, those heretics? Haven't heard anything of them in many years. As far as I know, they are firmly confined to the ash heap of history by now.
Some might argue with that. Your church has a violent past with them, hasn't it?
There's no denying that. We fought many battles with their kind in the youth of our movement.
And now?
Don't be absurd. They are practically eradicated, and we have been a peaceful group for decades.
What do you think about their teachings then?
Certainly dangerous doctrines if left unchecked. The conduit believes humans will create God in their image, instead of the other way around. In their folly, they forget that humans are flawed, and that their creations will inevitably inherit those flaws. The false God they aspire to create may demand sacrifices they're not prepared for.
So Leonard Dahl, one of your members, was killed yesterday.
I had a feeling your inquiry would lead us to him.
Can you think of anyone who would want him dead?
No, he was a loyal member of the church for many years. Kind of a loner, but always helpful and polite. He did have a strangeness to him, though. A look in his eyes like he was stuck in perpetual contemplation. It seemed as if he was constantly on the verge of, but never quite able to reach, some sort of profound revelation.
Any hint of a violent side to him?
No. To my knowledge, Leonard never committed any violence, nor did he express any desire to do so.
This church, EPOS, what are your teachings?
At our core, we are an Orthodox Christian church. We believe in the one true God and His only Son, Jesus Christ.
And what sets your group apart from other Christians?
Two things. The reverence of the essential humanity in each and every one of us, and our stalwart opposition to false idols. Prior to the collapse, the great flood of our time, we arose as a reaction to the disgraceful habits of that era. The widespread worship of anything and everything but God. Wealth, fame, mindless pleasure. The sickening mutilation of our bodies to the point where some were more machine than human. And the worst of all, the pursuit of AI superintelligences. False gods that humans aspired to construct for themselves. We oppose it all for the glory of our Creator and the salvation in our future.
And how do you go about preventing people from worshiping these false gods?
Not by violence, if that's what you're implying. Such things belong to the past.
So it's just a coincidence that the only armed man I've seen in Nordson was right behind your doors?
Sadly, the world is still in a state where men with guns are a necessary evil. However, no laws have been broken. We have every right to bear arms.
Do you know what kinds of books Leonard liked to read?
One book he borrowed frequently was The Kingdom of God is Within You. In fact, it still hasn't been returned. It should be among his estate.
Would you be able to say if he had any favorite quotes from that book?
No, you should ask someone who spent more time with him.
Fine, I'll do that. What kind of book is it anyway?
It's about non-violence, to summarize.
Got it. Thanks. What do you know about Carl Oscarson?
I must confess I didn't even know his name before I heard he was a murder victim.
What do you think of Gabriel?
Kurt's nephew. We only met briefly a few times.
Do you know who Katarina Berg is, the school teacher? She also calls herself Melinda.
I believe I've seen her around town with the school children, but I don't know much about her.
What do you think of Walter?
I don't know him well, but he seems like the kind of man who plays the part of the clown to hide a deep wound.
What do you think of Commissary Anderson?
He's no member of the church, but he's a fine man blessed with strong Christian morals. Compassionate, forgiving, and open-minded. I was good friends with his late father, and I'm glad to see that his son followed in his footsteps.
What's your opinion on Stina Ruth?
Cunning woman, that one. She's been a thorn in our side ever since she joined the town council.
Yeah? How so?
She has a penchant for political obstruction. Things like hindering our building permits or imposing unreasonable restrictions on our street preaching.
Why do you think she's been acting that way?
If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say she has some kind of grudge. Some Christian out there must have greatly angered her at some point.
What's your opinion on Maya Strand?
She was my polar opposite in almost every way. But I enjoyed the occasional late-night chess game with her in the canteen. It's fascinating how trivial activities like board games can bring such different people together. Goes without saying that I was as shocked and appalled as anyone when I learned of what happened to her.
What's your opinion on Dr. Pearson?
He and I have quite different takes on life and death, to put it lightly. But alas, a man of my age needs to see a physician regularly to keep the Grim Reaper at bay. So I grit my teeth and endure half an hour of his morbid humor for the sake of my health.
Do you know who Leonard Dahl's brother is?
I believe his name is Rolf. Quite a shady character, if you ask me.
Oh, the gardener, right?
Yes, that's him.
What can you tell me about Rolf?
Not my favorite person. He mocked the Lord when I first met him, and I don't take kindly to that sort of behavior.
That's all, for now.
Understood. I'll be here if you have more inquiries.
Oh, the passage led back here. Good. Since I left the door unlocked behind me, I'll be able to come back the same way. There it is, the book from the library. Got it. The Kingdom of God is Within You by Leo Tolstoy. This looks ancient, pre-collapse for sure. A number of pages are marked in the margins, likely to easily find them. Even if one of the marked pages contains the quote I need, there's too much text. I'll need more to go on. Maybe someone who had regular contact with Leonard would know the quote if they saw it. Hey there, how are you holding up?
Oh, you again. I'm doing okay. Any luck with the case?
Some. Have time for more questions?
I suppose.
Have a look at these marked pages. Does anything remind you of things Leonard used to say?
Give me a minute, will you?
Sure.
Here. The sole meaning of life is to serve humanity. Leonard used to say that whenever I was late for work.
Perfect. Thanks.
No problem.
Do you know anything about the murder of Carl Oscarson?
Not really, just hearsay. I'm sure you've heard it all before.
Do you know anything about the murder of Maya Strand?
No, I rarely go to the museum these days.
What do you know about the conduit?
You mean like for electricity?
No, it's an organization. Pro-AI.
Oh, never heard of them.
What can you tell me about Leonard's death?
I already told you everything I know about that.
What's your opinion on the Free Church of Epos?
I don't know much about it, but going to church doesn't sound like the worst idea. Maybe I should go and light a candle for Leonard.
Do you know Rolf, the plant master?
Sure, he brings our gardening waste to the recycling center every week. He's kind of an asshole, though. Always seems to be trying to rip you off.
So tell me what you know about Leonard.
We already went through this. I don't have anything new to add.
What's your view of Dr. Pearson?
He's as weird as they come, but everyone knows that. He's a fine doctor anyway.
Did you know Maya Strand?
I didn't, but I wonder how the museum will recover from her death. She was the driving spirit of that place, and I can't think of anyone who'd be willing to pick up the reins.
What do you think of Stina Ruth, the councilwoman?
Never met her, but I'm not much for politics. I have enough to worry about down here in the real world.
What's your opinion on Commissary Anderson?
I normally don't have much contact with the police, but from what I can tell, he does a fine job.
What do you think of Volter?
Oh man, he's hilarious, but some of his robots really give me the creeps.
Do you know Katarina Berg, the teacher?
No, I have no idea who that is.
What's your opinion on Gabriel?
I couldn't say. I've had very little contact with him.
Did you know Carl Oscarson?
A little bit. We both grew up here in town, but we weren't friends or anything. He seemed like the last person you'd think would get murdered, though. Wouldn't hurt a fly.
I'll let you get back to your drink.
Okay, good luck out there.
Hello, Rolf.
Hey, look, I'm pretty busy here. Not really a good time to talk.
This can't wait. You heard about your brother, right?
It's a small town, what do you think?
Sorry about your loss, but I really need to ask you some questions.
Fine.
The sole meaning of life is to serve humanity.
I don't believe this.
You have something for me, Rolf?
I guess so. You know, you're the last person I was expecting. Was my brother a police informant?
Yeah. We were building a case, but that's all I'm at liberty to say.
Shit! That's crazy. Wait here, I'll be right back. Here, now go bury the bastard that killed my brother.
I'll do my very best. Got rid of the note. No need to hold on to that. Let's see here. There was an audio tape and a few documents inside. It's the tape that Leonard stashed away. The label says session number 3. It's in fairly bad condition. These look like surveillance reports. It seems that Leonard was investigating Carl, Katerina, and Maya. The museum, the junk heap, and the apartment at Mimir Road are all mentioned as locations of interest. Leonard must have followed them around town and documented their activities. There's not much new to me in here, but there's mention of multiple tape recordings. Maybe they can offer some other clue to the killer. I need to figure out some way to play that tape. Here's your book back. I got what I needed from it.
Ah, thank you.